Imagine it's 3 a.m. Your phone screams with an emergency alert you never thought you'd see. Ballistic missiles incoming. Seek shelter immediately. You have exactly 15 minutes. Most people will spend 14 of those minutes in denial. The other 1 minute? In total panic. Surviving the end of the world seems impossible, but if you know exactly what to do, from dodging the initial blast to outlasting the radioactive fallout, it's actually possible. Surviving World War III is easy, but it's not easy actually. Most people think World War III is just a few mushroom clouds on the horizon. They think they'll watch the war on their TV until the power goes out. They are wrong. Nuclear missiles are only the final act of a much longer, much more painful play. The digital execution, cyber warfare. Before the first physical bomb even drops, your world will end digitally. Modern life runs on a fragile web of servers. In an instant, state-sponsored hackers will execute a black start attack. Your bank balance? Gone. Not stolen, but erased. The water treatment plant in your city? It will be hacked to release toxic levels of chlorine, or simply shut down. The oxygen systems in hospitals, the cooling systems in nuclear power plants, everything controlled by a computer becomes a weapon against you. You won't be running from soldiers, you'll be trapped in a city that has forgotten how to function. The biological shadow, biowarfare. In World War III, the deadliest soldiers won't have faces. They will be invisible. Engineered pathogens, viruses more contagious than COVID and more lethal than Ebola, will be released in major transit hubs. By the time the first person coughs, it's already too late. You won't know if your neighbor is a friend or a walking biological bomb. Hospitals will be the first places to fall, becoming death zones where the sick go to die in the hallways. The air itself becomes a gamble. The starvation games, supply chain death. You're currently 72 hours away from starvation at any given time. That is the just-in-time delivery system. In WW3, the oceans become a graveyard for cargo ships. GPS jamming means planes can't fly. Within 3 days, grocery store shelves will be stripped bare. Within a week, the civilized man will be willing to kill his best friend for a can of beans. The economy won't just crash. It will disappear. Money will become useless paper. The only currency left will be lead, bullets, and clean water. The urban meat grinder, street to street. If you live in a city, you are in a cage. Governments will declare martial law, total curfews, no one in, no one out. But the police and military have families too. Eventually, they will desert their posts to protect their own. That's when the urban meat grinder begins. Gangs and desperate civilians will fight block by block for the last remaining resources. There will be no 911 to call, no fire department to stop the city from burning. You aren't just surviving a war between nations, you are surviving a war between everyone. The nuclear winter, the final veil. And yes, then come the nukes. But the explosion is the mercy. The real killer is the nuclear winter. The soot from burning cities will rise into the stratosphere, blocking out 70% of the sun's light for a decade. Global temperatures will plummet. It will snow in the middle of July. Crops will fail worldwide for years. Even if you survived the blast, even if you survived the virus, even if you survived the riots, you now have to survive a world that can no longer grow food. A world where the living will truly envy the dead. The physics of survival. Once the blast wave passes, the clock starts ticking. You have exactly 30 minutes before the fallout arrives. Most people will try to drive away, get stuck in gridlock, and die in their cars. Don't be them. Your goal is mass. Radiation is like invisible bullets, and you need as much material between you and those bullets as possible. A wooden house is a coffin. You need concrete, brick, or at least 3 feet of packed earth. If you are outside during the flash, your clothes are now a weapon against you. Before you enter your shelter, strip off your outer layers and leave them outside. This simple act removes 90% of the radioactive dust. Wash your body with water and soap, but do not scrub. If you break your skin, you allow the radiation into your bloodstream, and there is no cure for that. Inside your shelter, you must master the 7-10 rule. This is a law of nuclear physics. For every 7-fold increase in time, the radiation intensity drops by 10 times. After 7 hours, the radiation is 10 times weaker. After 49 hours, roughly 2 days, it is 100 times weaker. This is the golden window. If you leave your shelter before these 48 hours are up, you are inviting a slow, agonizing death. Stay down, stay hidden. Let the physics work for you. The chemistry of life. While you wait, your biggest enemy isn't the radiation outside, it's the chemistry inside. Your thyroid gland will greedily soak up radioactive iodine from the air, causing cancer within weeks. To prevent this, you need potassium iodide tablets to saturate your thyroid first. If you don't have them, you are at the mercy of the wind. Then there's the water. The moment the sirens go off, run to your main water valve and shut it off. This traps the clean, pressurized water already inside your house's pipes, protecting it from the city-contaminated supply. Your toilet tank and your water heater are now your most valuable assets. They contain gallons of filtered, drinkable water that most people will forget about until they're dying of thirst. When it comes to food, discard anything in a box or plastic wrap. Radioactive dust can seep through. Only canned goods are safe. But before you open a can, wash the lid thoroughly. One single speck of dust falling into your soup is enough to cause internal hemorrhaging. In this new world, hygiene isn't about smelling good, it's about not melting from the inside out. The mental fortress. Eventually, the silence will come. No internet, no power, no government rescue. This is where most survivors fail. They suffer from normalcy bias, the brain's desperate attempt to believe that things will go back to how they were. It won't. You have to accept that the 21st century is over. Survival is 10% gear and 90% psychology. You will have to make brutal choices. You might have to ignore the cries of those who didn't prepare. You might have to walk away from your past life entirely. But because you know the science, because you followed the plan, you are no longer a victim of the chaos. You are a citizen of the aftermath. You've watched the horror and you've learned the plan. You are ready to face the dawn that everyone else is afraid of. It's a new world, and you're the one who's going to live in it. But it's not easy, actually.